In today's episode, Tania and I are going to be talking about how she was able to take courageous leaps and put herself out there, asking and receiving in return. It's just amazing to listen to Tania's story and how she has been on a journey of discovering her authenticity and listening to that creative voice that is constantly pushing her forward and saying yes to being imperfect and to just keeping things real. I know you're going to absolutely love this episode. So let's get into it.
Gotta get messy and show the world you growing as an artist. And you're free to be yourself. You got a dream, you need to start it. Stick together. Get messy says you're formally invited to a community where you can find people that spark the feel of excitement. Too many art supplies, not enough time. No, it's tough, and so you must find a way to feel some connection. We got a lot of people with the same kind, a great mind. We here for you, a platform so we can hear your views. Time's yours, forget yours. I know you bored of them same rules.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Get Messy podcast episode. Today, I am going to be speaking to Tania, and I am so excited to jump into all of the creative wisdom that she has to share with us. So thank you so much for agreeing to be on the podcast with me, Tania.
Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. Thank you for asking me. This is a huge honor. Wow. I'm on the Get Messy podcast. Hi, Mom.
Do you want to introduce yourself to everyone that's listening?
Well, my name is Tania Ahmed, and I live in the UK, and I was originally born in Pakistan, in Karachi, a very, very huge coastal city by the beach. And I live in not so sunny UK with a very, very understanding husband, a cat called Billy, which means cat in Urdu, very inventive, and my daughter Alina, who will be 3 in March. Oh my goodness. And I am a mixed media artist. I am a serial gel printer, and my joy is demystifying the art process.
Oh, I love that. And you do it so well. I know when you were teaching your lesson for 2024, I was commenting to you, like, it feels like we're in the studio hanging out with you. You just make everything so comfortable and so natural. And it's just such a delight to watch your lessons.
Oh, thank you. I mean, the thing is, my biggest philosophy is that we are all influenced by what we see on social media. Everything is so beautiful and perfectly curated and looks wonderful, and everything is seamless. And by the end of it, you have a perfect project, which looks absolutely fantastic. But then someone sits down and does it, and they're like, why does mine not look like that? And why do I not have all these things? And this, I don't like this. So my thing is just breaking through that mist, so to speak, and just explain to people that, we all make mistakes. And when we're sharing things on social media, we have the wonderful ability to edit out things that went wrong, or the brush that fell on the art journal page, or that splatter, or that coloring that went wrong, or you used something else. And I try and share all those mistakes as well. So it's all about being real for me. And
Yeah.
whenever I do my lessons, I try and be real, because I don't want this process to be unrealistic. And I also want people to understand that people like us, as teachers, we've been doing it for a very, very, very long time. And it's all about practice. Practice, practice, practice. Practice makes progress, for sure.
I love that. Practice makes progress. Absolutely. Do you find that you had to discover a kind of vulnerability to say, I'm going to let all the imperfection hang out along with all the mistakes? Or was that something that you're aiming for from the very beginning?
I think it's always difficult as someone who chooses to put their face out there into the world and teach publicly. Uh, and the thing was that when I think many of the Messians will identify with this is that when I was first starting out, I used to watch all these big names, Kaylee included, and be like, "Oh my goodness, how do they do that? It just looks perfect. I need all sorts of fancy equipment. I need all the expensive supplies." And and then I would get into this rabbit hole and spiral of analysis paralysis. Do I need this? Do I choose that? And it was never perfect. So I also call myself a recovering perfectionist as well. And um, what I did was, I think the best thing that I did for myself was taking risks. And I started by asking people, like, how do you do it? And this was in the age before people shared videos, short form videos on Instagram, where everything is so easily accessible now. And there was a lot of just these beautifully, perfectly made pictures on social media of art journal pages and cards and things like that. And sometimes you would see videos of them over on YouTube, but sometimes not. And it all seemed very mysterious. So I would actually reach out to these people that I admired and I asked them, like, how do you do it? And then sometimes they wouldn't share, and I wouldn't take it personally because they're busy people. But some of them, a lot of them, were very, very generous with the information they shared. Do this, do that. And I listened and I paid attention. And then I realized that there was a little bit of a gap in the market where people were afraid to show that they make mistakes, because it's all about, setting yourself up as the expert in the industry. And but the thing is that it's not realistic, because even I mess up sometimes. Like with gel printing, it's so unpredictable. um when the weather changes, I know my paint is going to behave differently, and I might have a print that just, when I pull paper, the paper is going to be blank and the paint is still going to be on a gel plate. And that still happens, and it's still okay. So I want to show people that mistakes happen, but this is how we can fix them.
Mm. Yeah, that's so good. We need more of that, I think. Personally, I think we need more of the messy imperfectness showing up. I think people need permission to be themselves and to embrace all of the mishaps that happen along the way, because it happens more than those lightning strikes where everything's just perfect, right? That's the unicorn that everybody's chasing. That doesn't really happen that often.
Exactly. I think I talked about this in the live stream that we did for the season of binding, where I was really, really honest that with the lessons that we teachers do, they're planned months in advance, down to every detail. That, we're going to be doing this, we're going to be doing using these supplies, and this is going to be the theme, and this is specifically what we're doing. So this is something that sometimes some of us teachers spent weeks thinking about. It's like, it's not something that, you just whip out of thin air. Sometimes you can do that. Sometimes you can definitely do that. But most times, if you're a busy person, you can't. So I am a really big believer in making lists and having a
Wow.
bank of ideas and inspiration that I can, rely on. That if I need to do something, then I can dip into this Excel spreadsheet that I have. I love
Oh,
spreadsheets.
really? Really, really? Have you got a spreadsheet for it? I was
I
just
have
gonna
a
ask, like,
spreadsheet.
how do you save these ideas?
I have a spreadsheet
Oh,
because
fantastic.
I work with many different companies, manufacturers, and other summit organizers as well. And I am also a brand ambassador for Jelly Arts.
Ooh,
And so I do a lot of stuff for them. And every time they commission me to do something, I have to pitch my ideas to them. So, with whatever manufacturer I work with, you have to pitch the idea, you have to get their approval.
mm,
Then I need to make sure I have the right supplies, and then they need to make sure that they have sent me those supplies. And these things can take a long time.
yes.
So, I have a, a spreadsheet
I love it.
which I've noted down all the ideas that I get. And it's all
Mm,
easily accessible for me so that I can access it on my phone as well because I'm always on the go.
yep.
And it's just an easy way to keep every all of my mad chaotic ideas in one place, like semi organized.
Well, the other thing too is, right, you get an idea and you think this is the best idea ever. It is such a good idea. I know I'm never going to forget it because I'm so inspired by it. And 2 hours later, you can remember that you had an amazing idea that you were never going to forget, but you can't
Hmm.
remember what the idea is. That's my
Hmm.
brain.
Hmm. No, that's
So
my squirrel brain as well.
I love the idea of like just put it down in a spreadsheet as it happens, right? In real time on your phone, save it, and then it's
Yeah.
there. It's banked. You don't need to worry about it.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't even have to be a
Mhm.
spreadsheet. I mean, I just
I
my
know, but
I love
spreadsheets are so
spreadsheets. It
good.
doesn't have to be a
Yes,
spreadsheet.
right?
It can just be on the notes app on your phone.
Mhm. Yeah.
Just everything in one place. Just just do a brain dump, and then
Yes.
afterwards, I know I can organize it when I need some inspiration because you have more ideas than time, right?
Yes. Absolutely. Oh, that is fantastic. I love that advice. So you are really like a jelly print wizard. Can I call you that?
Oh,
Um,
I think it.
do you want to tell us how did your jelly printing journey start?
Well, I bought my first gel plate, which I still have, 12 years ago, and I didn't touch it for a whole year. And because I had a very, very busy job within the creative industry, and I often didn't have much time to be creative for myself. And I just always thought to myself, okay, one day I'm going to, uh, do some gel printing, and it's going to be amazing because Jelly Arts, I believe, are going to be celebrating their 11th or 12th anniversary soon,
Okay.
and they are an absolutely amazing company to work for. So about in 2018, I saw that Jelly Arts was doing a design team call. This was the first design team call that they did. My very, 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 very dear friends Birgit Koopson and Marsha Walk, who are my fellow brand ambassadors at Jelly Arts, were already working with Jelly Arts, and I messaged them quickly and then they, can I apply? And they're like, of course, you should definitely apply. And so I applied, and they liked my work. And at that time, video on Instagram was in its infancy.
Mm-hmm.
And I was teaching myself how to make more videos. So I was basically using my phone to share videos on Instagram, and I Gelli saw that I had the capability of making videos,
Mm.
and they saw that my videos were gaining a lot of attention on social media. So they asked me if I could do some videos for them. They liked my work, and we had a good relationship, and it kind of snowballed from there. And I've been slowly building up a following on social media, and I get to work with very many amazing people and companies and people like yourselves, like Kaylee and Get Messy. And I get to travel the world and teach. And it's like, some days I'm like, just teach me that I'm actually doing what I love.
Mm.
I really, really love teaching. I'm very, very passionate about teaching. And I am very honored and blessed that I get to do that.
Yeah, but of course, what I'm thinking is you had to have the courage to put yourself out there and to apply for the design team call, right? If you hadn't said, I'm going to do this crazy thing, I'm going to apply and see what happens, who knows where you would have been today. So you have to like grab those moments when
Mhm.
they come and just jump off and see what
Absolutely.
happens.
Absolutely.
Mm.
Absolutely. Because I I I am a very, very sensitive person, but I've taught myself that um, the right doors of opportunity will open for me
Mm.
at the right time. There's like people see the success that I have now, but people don't know that I've been actually working in the industry behind the scenes for almost 11, 12 years.
Mm.
And it's only now that I have kind of branched out as an individual, but I've been working more behind the scenes with other companies. And like for example, I wanted to do magazine work, and I did not know where to start. So I went online and saw the magazines that I really loved, and I made a note of who their editors were on their websites. If their emails were not on their websites, I actually physically bought the magazine and looked up the editor's emails, and I put together a portfolio and said, this is what I can do, and I would love to work with you guys. And I think maybe 4 times out of 10, somebody would get back to me, or someone would be nice enough and say, I love your work, but it's not our style, but you can contact this person. So I think there's such a big world out there outside of your comfort zone. Sometimes it can be very overwhelming to do that, for sure. But my motto is, if you don't ask, you don't get. And
Yep.
I don't take these rejections. I've had many, many, many rejections. Many rejections. Like, people don't talk about things like that, but I've had many
Yeah.
rejections. Many people have said no. Um, but I have had so many wonderful yeses in return.
Mm.
So it's, if you're thinking about doing something, then just go for it. What's the harm? At least you'll know you've tried.
Absolutely. And I think the other thing is a lot of people look, as you say, look from the outside, don't realize what's going on behind the scenes, right? So
Hmm.
they see a lot of artists having success and they think, they struck it lucky or they were in the right moment at the right time, which does happen. It's totally valid that, sometimes that is the way it happens.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the time, as you say, there's so many no's that you've had to go through. You've had to put
Mm-hmm.
yourself out there,
Mm-hmm.
ask for opportunities,
Mm-hmm.
and really work at trying to get your work and your message out into the world. It doesn't just miraculously happen overnight. There's a lot of heartache and a very big journey that needs to happen to
Mm-hmm.
get to that point.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm probably butchering this quote by Steve Jobs, but I believe he said it took 10 years to be an overnight success.
Yes, exactly. That sounds about right.
I mean, and the
Uh,
thing is, like, many people don't realize that, well, you definitely know, Claudette, is like more than 70% of our time is actually spent in front of a screen
mm,
than the actual creation process. The creation process
mm,
is very quick.
yep.
Then there's the editing that goes with the videos, and then there's the admin and making sure it's posted because you're wearing so many different hats. You're a social media
Uh-huh.
content creator, you're a videographer, and you're like one of those images of those goddesses with many hands.
Yes.
Like, there's so much that we're juggling with,
Mm,
and many of us are doing it alone. There's
mm,
people out there who are successful enough to hire somebody else to do stuff for them, but there's
mm.
many of us who are doing it alone,
Yeah,
and it's
that's
it's
true.
hard, but
Mm,
very, very, very rewarding, because then I get to meet some very amazing people.
yeah. Well, I've got a daughter who's 7, and if you ask her what I do as a job, she tells people my mom writes emails. Because whenever she asks me what I'm doing, I'm like, I'm just quickly writing an email.
Oh my goodness.
So so the creative process, as you say, it's a small sliver, right? The rest of the time
Yes.
you are on your computer editing, emailing, doing all the answering posts and comments, and that is what we do, is just
Yeah.
do all the other behind the scenes stuff.
The more videos I made, I realized that there were beginners who were asking me the same questions over and over again. Is like, what paint should I use? What paper should I use? What is a gel plate? How should I store it? How do I clean it? What mediums can I use on it? How do I do this? Is like, why do my prints look like mud? I'm scared of messing up my gel plate. Things like that. It's my my favorite people are the beginners, because they are so full of joy, and they want to learn, and they're so
Yeah.
eager, and that spark that they get when
Mm.
they get something right or something works for them is just, oh, Claudette, it gives me life. I love it.
Yeah, it's a magical time when you're learning to do something, and there's an excitement there that you don't get, as you go on and you sort of start to understand processes and you feel more confident in how you're doing things. Then that initial enthusiasm of, oh, I actually got this print right, or I tried this thing and this is what I was hoping to achieve and I actually did it. That initial energy, there is nothing quite like it.
No, no, it's just,
Mm,
it's magical. It's absolutely magical. For me, the greatest thing that is a gift to me is the connection I get with my students. When you go on these Zooms, you know it with the Get Messy Zoom sessions that you guys do. It's like people start sharing things about themselves. And my focus with Gel Print Academy, it's not just um, people who are gel print beginners, but it's also about making prints that are meaningful to you, not just making beautiful prints, but making prints that are meaningful to you. Like, for example, the this was the course, that the journal that I made for the season of binding. And it has a, if you guys are listening in, then it has a gel print with my daughter's Crocs on it,
Mm.
Croc shoes on it. And it's something that's meaningful to me. And one of the my favorite prints that I've made is a gel print that I made with my daughter's old onesie,
Oh,
which was too dirty and torn for me to save or keep. So I made a gel print with it, and I have it framed in my home. And I'm all about uh, finding a meaningful connection with particular colors that you use. And I'm all about creating patterns that are meaningful to you, inspired by your own culture, your own heritage, or your surroundings, and just making them more you. And just finding, I'm sounding very sentimental, but I'm just so,
no, no. I love it because you are making the prints deeper. I think, like, immediately it strikes me because a lot of people are like jelly printing, right? You're just making papers to be torn up and cut up and used as ephemera in something else. So it's a lot of like patterns and do it fast and, just slap on paint. But what you're saying is that these prints can be something far deeper. Like there is a connection that you can make
Mhm,
to that print. It's got
mhm.
meaning. And I love that because it's like elevating it to a whole new level. It's just taking it that step further where it becomes something more sacred than just
Yeah,
paper that you're going to cut up.
yeah. I mean, it was the course that I did in 2024. It was my purpose was to figure out how, what do people want, and 80 very amazing, beautiful women joined me. And it was so uplifting that
Mm,
the lesson that was the most vulnerable for me to do was the one where I was talking about how to, create patterns inspired by your past, using colors that affect you, that have like some kind of sentimental value, and creating stencils and texture plates
mm,
using inspiration from your own surroundings or objects that are meaningful to you. And that was the one that they resonated with the most. And it
mm.
was it was incredibly moving. I It was incredibly moving. It was really amazing. And yeah, I am so thrilled to be doing this again. And
Mm,
I feel like this year, my daughter is going to be 3 in March. And like motherhood just completely turned me upside down in the best way possible. And I made a promise to myself to share more of my true self, my heritage, and my culture, and kind of
mm.
amalgamate it with my new home as well. And I feel like I've been able to do that a lot more in 2024. And I
Mm.
hope to share more of that and encourage other people to be more bravely and authentically themselves in 2025 and for many more years to come.
Oh, that's such a good message. I love that. Yeah, being a mother it changes a whole lot of things, right? And I think, as you said, turns everything upside down. And then there's a period of time where you've got to almost reorientate yourself.
Yeah.
And once you've found your bearings again and you've been changed, the direction that you go in is, it's always just, it's not, it's exciting to see how that change has been able to
Mm-hmm.
affect who
Mm-hmm.
you've become after that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my daughter, she's absolutely fantastically amazing and beautiful and so clever, and she makes me want to be a better person. She makes me want to be a more authentic version of myself, because I want her to have that role model that maybe I needed when I was growing up.
So, for someone that is wanting to, we've now spoken a lot about being authentic to yourself and to creating new connections in who you are, and sort of bringing your past and your present self together in the moment. For someone who's wanting to have an art practice that looks more authentic, what advice do you have for them?
Uh, my advice is throw away everything that you know about creativity out of the window and redefine what creativity means to you, and not look at it through the lens of other people, because you know yourself how much time you have, how much energy you have to give. I have to be very realistic with my time, because my daughter doesn't go to full time childcare. So my time is like snatched in little bits here and there. So in 1/2 hour that I get to myself, I might organize my papers. That counts as being creative. It doesn't sound very creative, but in my book that counts, because I get to stroke my precious beautiful, insert Gollum voice here. my
Yes.
my precious papers, and I stroke them, and they give me ideas and inspiration, and I might think of something to do with them, and that's where your notes app comes in. And so I might organize them by weight, by color, and I might cut them down into a shape if I want to make them into a journal, whatever. That counts as being creative. In another session, I might just do some sketching or some stamping. And in another session, then I might do some coloring of those sketches or stamps that I've done. And then in another session, then I might, just start working towards, making something. Not every creative session needs to result in a masterpiece.
Mm,
Sometimes your finished piece might look like mud, but it's a success. You've done something. Like the bare minimum is still a success. We creatives, we're such givers, but we are so hard on ourselves.
mm,
So, my reminder to myself, as much as to my followers and to myself, is that be kind to yourself. Would you say what you're saying to yourself in your head to someone you love? Would you say this to a
mm.
younger version of yourself? Would you say this to a dear friend? So just be very, very kind to yourself, and don't judge yourself by looking at somebody else's highlight reel, because you don't know what's going on in the background. Like, Claudette, seriously, there's a diaper box sitting behind me. I mean, seriously, you just life is life sometimes
Mm.
really lifes, and you gotta roll with the
Yes.
punches.
Mm,
And sometimes I might have like 2 whole weeks gone by where I've not done anything creative, but I am done beating myself up about it,
mm.
because I know those things are there for when I have time.
Yeah, I think we tend to get very caught up in, this has to be like a big focus, right? Like it has to be this big daily thing. And as you say, it doesn't have to be a masterpiece. It could be as something as small as coming into your studio and
Mhm.
just sorting out a small pile of
Mhm.
papers or whatever.
Yeah.
So you've definitely changed my view on what a daily practice is. Since your class that you did for Get Messy, I've been like thinking, okay, I'm going to do something every day. And so even if like sometimes I draw a grid in my sketchbook and I want to do patterns or whatever, and I've gotten to the point now where I can say, even if it's one square, one pattern that's 2 inches by 2 inches. And if I just fill in that one square today, I did
Mm.
something creative, right?
Mm.
That's more than enough.
Yeah. I mean, last year, I actually 2 years ago, I made a workbook which is still available on my site, which is called Craft Spark Your Creative Mojo, and it's aimed at people who've lost their, creative spark and want to get it back. And it's actually a very, very practical workbook, which is full of short exercises that you can do if you want to get your mojo back.
Oh, I love that. I think it's really important for people to realize there isn't this pressure. In the Hangouts, a lot of people are like, how do you balance making art and having to do the dishes and cook for your family, right? How do you get the clothes washed and get a journal spread done in a day kind of thing? And I think sometimes they're a little disappointed when you go, well, um, the pile of washing is to the ceiling because today I decided I wanted to work
Hmm.
in my journal instead of doing
Hmm.
the washing.
Hmm.
Or it's paper plates because I didn't do the dishes this morning.
Hmm.
There's always a give and take. And so
Hmm.
a lot of people are under the impression like you have to have everything done. And that's
No,
not realistic. It's
no,
something's got to give, right? You
no,
can't do it all.
no, no, no. In in the words of Shonda Rhimes, you can have it all, but not at the same time.
Yes. Yep. So we've got diaper boxes behind us because
Yep.
we're doing something else.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think that's what I love about your approach is that it's just you keep it real. And when you invite people into your studio space, you just show up as you are. And it's just so relaxing and appealing because it's not this polished, curated, everything is sped up and edited
Hmm.
out. And it's just, you
Hmm.
just have it as it is, which is
Hmm.
just beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, like Instagram and all these other social media platforms, they're so deceptive. Like
Mm,
when I share my videos, a, a print might take me anything from 10 minutes to 20 minutes to
mm,
curate and get right. And I need to edit those 15, 20 minutes down into 1 minute so that it fits.
yes.
And I am always very, very clear. I mention it in my captions that this video is sped up X times
Mm,
and things have been edited out. This is not, you are not going to have a beautiful print in 1 minute. It might take you five, it might take you 20, it might take you an hour. And
mm.
all of this comes from practice, practice, practice. And there are five other videos that did not make the cut because the print didn't come
Yes.
out right.
Yeah. And
I
that's
think
real.
it's real, and I think it needs
Mm,
to be shared more. Like a lot of people are now coming out and actually sharing and being vulnerable
mm,
because it's just unrealistic to be, have this beautifully created uh, project at the end of a
mm.
session. I mean, seriously, I have so many things that go wrong.
Yeah. And with classes too, right? And it's difficult because nobody's going to sit there and watch a 2-hour video. So that you have to cut things out. You have to
Hmm.
make it manageable for people to watch. And
Hmm.
so a lot of times I feel especially in the beginning, you feel as though, okay, the lesson was 30 minutes. So at the end of 30 minutes, I need to have a journal page done. Like if she did it in 30 minutes, I should be able to do it in 30. But there's a whole lot of it could take, especially with filming, it takes hours and hours. And
Mm-hmm.
then you have to edit it down into the
Mm-hmm.
30 minutes so that they
Mm-hmm.
don't need to spend their whole day watching you faffing
Mm-hmm.
around with a page.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
there's a push and pull, I think, that needs to happen. And yeah, sort of it comes with practice, right? Realizing, okay, I watched a 1 minute video, but
Yeah.
realistically, this is going to take me 20, 30 minutes.
This is how I sign out all my emails. Is I hope that you do something and you make time to do something that gives you joy.
Mm, yes. Oh, that's beautiful. And it comes from the heart. I know that you mean that. Absolutely. Anybody who's spent time with you knows that that comes straight from the heart. The other thing that I wanted to ask you before we say goodbye is I love to ask people if they could work with only one color for the rest of their creative career, what would the color be and why? So I know it changes, right? It might be different next week, but right now, what would your color be?
Oh, that's unfair. Hmm. I think it would be like a close between pink or blue, but I think blue because there's so many
Oh.
different shades of blue out there. Um, but yeah, it's if you ask me, my favorite color is blue, but I tend to use a lot of hot pink in my work because
Mhm.
it has holds a lot of sentimental value for me. Fluorescent pink. Um, but I think it will be blue. That's unfair, Claudette.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm listening to you saying blue, but I'm not sure that your heart is saying blue.
I think I would I I I use a lot of blue in my work, but I always tend to incorporate pops of fluorescent pink into my work because I feel like that is just something that embodies my uh, femininity, and it kind of is an ode to all. For me, pink is all the mothers I have had.
Oh.
So my aunt who used to live with us, my mother, my grandmothers, my aunts, uh, all these amazing, wonderful women that
Mm,
have uplifted me in my life. So
mm,
that's why I use that I imbued pink with that kind of sentimental value for myself. It might be different for other
mm,
people. So that's kind of
mm.
like my motif. But I think if I was forced to choose by someone who's very beautiful but being very, very cruel right now, I would choose blue.
Okay, well, someone would say, I would dare to say that I think that neon pink is the color of your heart.
It is.
But I know it's a difficult question. I do know it's a difficult question. So thank you for trying to answer.
I'm
Oh,
sweating
thank
now. That
you.
was that was I'm gonna be thinking about oh
Oh, thank you so much for joining me, Tanya, and for sharing your insights and for answering my challenging questions and for just being such a real, inspiring artist and for shining your light out into the world. It really is inspiring to see your journey and to watch you unfolding.
oh thank you so much, Claudette, and
Mm.
thank you everyone at Team Get Messy for inviting me. It's a huge honor. Being on Get Messy was on my bucket list, and it
Oh,
would not be possible. It would not be possible without all of my followers, people who uplift me, my friends, my family, would not be possible. Thank you.